Yo, yo, yo. Hello. It's July 9th. Today's day 28. Oh, 28. Nice day to get caught up with the numbers. 28. Um, Almost on the cusp of 30. Oh, I guess this is 4 weeks. Didn't realize all this time had passed. Um, it's, I guess, like it's almost one third of the way through going through these. And I'm like, kind of at a place where I'm ready to take. I've been saying this, but like getting closer to a place where I'm feeling comfortable taking action. I'm ready to take action. Um, and I think the last 4 weeks with um, sharing out messages either on Instagram, on LinkedIn recently, and then here on YouTube, like even listening back to these myself has been really good. I've been chatting with Christian about um, messaging because I think one of the things that I've worked on before was kind of getting like with marketing, it's like getting to like the audience that you're talking to and then what your message is and then all of this. And I think like I've written that out, but it doesn't feel like practiced or rehearsed or natural. Um, and I think the concepts are natural, but I think to say it out in like a in a way that's just like, oh, hey, this is what this is, probably takes time. I'm actually thinking back to when I first started at my full time job, um, that I had to like come up with a way of saying like what the thing I was doing was, because there was a lot of kind of like not selling per se, but introducing to a concept. So in some ways, if I look at that experience, um, it's like practice for this experience, which I guess means I have to do some work. Which so I guess in my mind, I'm thinking about it now. Maybe I'm getting like the the idea of flow mixed up with the idea of doing the idea of doing nothing. I'm mistaking flow for like doing nothing at some times. I think that there are points in time where I I had felt the flow through like difficult situations, struggles. So like throughout school, for example, like that last week, those last 4 weeks of school where I was uh, more or less responsible for all of the like the home care type of things, as well as the like the kids, getting them to school and home and lunches and all that, in addition to my work, and then also in addition to working on this program, and then school, if I didn't say that already. But it's like, okay, I took on a whole lot of stuff, but at that same time there was a certain flow to it. um, so just being more aware of that now makes me think that um, Hmm. So here's the interesting thing. So when things were difficult and there were things to do, it was just like I just had to set out and do whatever I had to do, like just kind of one thing after another. Not too much even thinking necessarily about like what do I do first, what do I do next, or like can I just do this later? Um, because there was always something to do and it was easier to plan out. Now for this, it's like I don't have the like the feedback or anything like that. Maybe from what I do for it could be like a while, who knows. Um, but what it says to me is when I'm avoiding doing like when I'm avoiding doing certain things, that becomes out of flow because like there's some like level that I'm feeling like I know that I need to be doing this or that I should be doing this or that I want to be doing something. And then on the other hand, there's a part of me that's saying like it's never going to work out anyways. Why are you wasting your time? Don't do that thing. And it's like there's a can't be mad at it because there's probably well, not probably there's likely a protective kind of like mechanism there, um, right? Like if you don't start, how can you fail? Um, what if nobody wants what you're selling? What if nobody likes you, right? Like that's a deep cut. Um, and I'm not sure why it's so like what it is about like this particular format talking into a camera that I guess it's is it inherently weird in some way that hmm maybe not like there are people that just talk to themselves. um I guess what it is that there's not as much like energetic feedback from what I'm saying, so it's like that instant feedback isn't there, so it's a little bit odd I guess to talk in this way. um in some ways it's kind of like monologuing, right? um where I guess teaching is kind of like that too, where it could be like you're just talking and talking and talking and then you don't know where things land until like they do, and then you don't see that until who knows, like you might not see that for a long long time. mm, so what's the like with all of that understanding, what's that mean? I think it means like is it practice? Maybe it's just practice because it's like if I've created this thing, I guess what's new of it is putting it on paper and sharing it out rather than just being like a way of approaching things in my own head. So like if I were to think of how I do like human design readings or hypnosis sessions, it's very much go with the flow. Like lead me to your destination and I'll show you that you're already there. Um, but in like putting things down onto paper and then like sharing them back out again is will take practice. Maybe I have to acknowledge that. Acknowledge that, please. Like just pay attention. Like just because you created this thing doesn't mean you have to be natural at talking about it in a way that connects with others immediately. So go ahead and say the thing, practice it, write it down, say it out loud, and then see how people respond. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So, like, I do have a bunch of work done in terms of like having a succinct message um, for the program. And it's a matter of like finding the right words to say it out. Like, I hesitate now, even um, because in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, like, does this make sense? Does this make sense? Does this make sense? So maybe what I can do is start to explain it out in places where people can actually like tell me if it'll make sense. Hmm. Yeah. Um, Another interesting thing that came up was talking about like opening my calendar for this business for Hyzen, right? And it was like having a conversation with Christian and saying, um, well, like, okay, if I'm going to open my calendar, what am I going to open it for? Right? And it's like human design question mark. And like that would probably be the obvious like first step, right? Because that's where all of my work is pointing. Um, So that makes sense. It's like sometimes you just have to state the obvious. Sometimes you just have to state the obvious. So that's kind of in a nutshell where I am right now. I think that I think that it's good. Like things are starting to come together and feeling like ready to move forward. So I'm gonna be back on here um, and start sharing some of this stuff as we go along. I'm gonna make it make sense.